I think people are trying to hide it more. Before it was law or before the fines went up, people would be driving around with it more up here. Now it's right down in the lap, or I've seen it, sort of hidden by the leg. So yeah, I think it's gotten a little more dangerous that way. People trying to hide it. One thing's, again, I don't recommend anyone use a phone for anything while you're driving, but some people do use Waze and some of the different driving apps and that. And what I always recommend to people is get one of those phone holders that attach securely to your dash or your vent that's not going to fall or anything. Before you leave, punch in your coordinates, put it in there, and then you can follow along as if, you're following a screen on the dash of your car, right? But, I definitely have seen people try to hide it more and more over the years. And that's one of the big reasons I went to using the bicycle to do the enforcement is you have such a great view from the side of the road on the bike. Again, all you have to do is watch for where the eyes are and ride over to the vehicle, and you can make those observations. If any officers are out there, highly recommend they give it a shot and see what they think. I think they'd be surprised how good it is or how great it is as a tool to prevent distracted driving.
Yeah, I've definitely had to change my enforcement methods in the 10 years. 10 years ago, I could drive a fully marked Crown Vic, pull up behind a driver. Texting was barely a thing 10 years ago. And all you'd be looking for is the hand of the ear. You'd see the phone move away from the ear. You had your grounds to the stop, no problem. You rarely see that now. Now it's the texting or Twitter, Skype, whatever it is while driving. FaceTime has become a huge thing while driving here. I've caught a couple people over the last months having video calls while they're driving. So our service, recognizing the way people have been using their phones differently and the importance of this law, they've actually been pretty helpful in getting us some equipment to help with enforcing it. So you guys have seen, I'm sure, I got a Dodge Ram pickup truck that's completely unmarked that we use. So it raises me off the ground. It doesn't look like a police car at all. And I can get right up close to people and see them texting in their lap. Because I'm higher, I don't have to contort myself or try and stretch myself while I'm driving. Just look out my window and I see the phone in their lap, no problem. They haven't seen me coming, so they don't have to hide it or anything. And it makes it pretty easy to get the grounds for the offense. The other thing that's great is our courts and our prosecutors have been very supportive in being very strict with enforcing this law. And they're not allowing any leeway. They've kind of taken the opinion when we testify that we can testify that it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, talks like a duck. It's a duck. 10 years ago, they wanted us to bring documentation into how we knew that the device being used as a phone and capable of making a phone call. And now the judges say, like, this 30-year-old officer knows what an iPhone is, knows what it looks like. We all know what an iPhone does. We don't need to prove anything else. So I find it's actually gotten easier to enforce over the last 10 years than it was 10 years ago to get a conviction.